and shout and cheer for wrongdoing. Love that affirms and celebrates sin is not genuine love.
It's so much better than that, folks. When you tell your gay neighbor that they're going to hell for being gay, it is so good. It's so good when we do that. It's so based in pog and red pill when you do that, right? Right, man? Like, that's what you're saying. So I came across this guy. His name is Red Pen Logic, and I've never heard of him before today, but I saw actual Jake go over a video of him, and I wanted to do the same. So I'm going to do a little bit of, content theft a bit. We're going to go over a different video. This one's more recent. Miss Rachel gets this wrong about biblical love. Now, I have to assume that this will be something to do with, gay queerness and how it's valid love, or whatever. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I think that if you are a gay accepting Christian, that is better than being a not gay accepting Christian. There are certainly different levels of shittiness when it comes to Christianity. And I think that you can be a not shitty Christian. So I'm thinking this woman will be a not shitty Christian talking about how you're fine if you're gay. God loves you anyway if you're gay, which is great in POG, and I like that. But we'll see what's going on. So here's Red Pen Logic on how Miss Rachel gets this wrong about biblical love.
I've shared prayers on here before and said, God bless. And that's because my faith is really important to me. And it's also one reason.
Content discovery, you're the Columbus of reactionary content. Yes, true. Sorry, I thought you were like insulting me for a second. I'm like, wait, is he calling my content reactionary? No, I'm sorry. I have to start over.
I've shared prayers on here before and said, God bless. And that's because my faith is really important to me. And it's also one reason why I love every neighbor. In Matthew 22, a religious teacher asked,
does this guy kind of look like Eminem, or am I just racist against white people?
Jesus, what's the most important commandment? And Jesus says to love God and to love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. There's no greater commandments than these. I believe it's mentioned 8 times, love your neighbor. So yes, everyone belongs, everyone's welcome, everyone is treated with empathy and respect.
I like that.
It doesn't say love every neighbor except. There are so many reasons I stand strong.
He looks like Eminem. Looks like I'm not the only white racist in chat.
In love. I stand with everyone. That's who I am. And the love.
I fail to see how this guy is possibly going to spin this to make himself look like the good guy. That seems like a very difficult challenge in this moment, but we'll see.
Back and the God bless if you disagree is genuine.
Miss Rachel recently made a short video celebrating LGBT pride, and after some backlash, she offered this video defending her view. Now, this isn't going to be a Mr. B versus Miss Rachel takedown video, so if you're here for that, just keep moving. Instead, what I want to do is zero in on where our fundamental disagreement lies. Let's start with where Miss Rachel and I agree. We both want to follow Jesus' command to love your neighbor, and that of course includes your LGBT.
Okay, and we love our neighbor by telling them that if they're gay, they're going to hell, right? That's where he's going with this. I'm predicting it now. I'm calling it. It's literally like, if you love your neighbor and your neighbor is gay, you have to tell your neighbor that they're going to hell for being gay. It's not like it's your fault or anything. That's just God's will, right? The God that you worship and think is all good and all loving and all powerful, right? The God that you say is all loving. So a form of love is forcing people out of being gay, right? We'll give them a chance though. We'll see.
LGBT neighbor. So that's where we agree. Where we disagree is what it means to love. Miss Rachel seems to think that loving your neighbor somehow trumps God's other moral commands, and this is a huge mistake. After Jesus
I think it should. I think it should. I think that if also I don't think there's a command that says thou shalt not be gay, right? There's no command for that. Like it says in the Bible, there is homophobic stuff in the Bible, but I don't think there's an explicit commandment that says thou shalt not be gay. So
Jesus gave the 2 great commandments to love God and to love your neighbor. He says this, on these 2 commandments depend all the law and the prophets. Now notice Jesus isn't saying that love.
Also, he's about to be like, yeah, I know that God says to love everybody, but like, what's the but, man? Do you love everybody or not?
For God and neighbor trump the law and the prophets, so you don't really have to worry about them. No, he's saying that the commands to love.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up too. Thank you, Kermit. This is the argument they use to beat their children. Yeah, this is tough love, right? No hate like Christian love.
Love God and to love your neighbor summarizes what the law and the prophets were all about. The law and the prophets teach us what love for God and love for neighbor really look like. So genuine love for neighbor cannot ignore or reject God's moral commands. Instead, genuine love obeys God's commands. Writing his second epistle.
I can't stand his cadence. Instead, God, it tells you to obey his command. It's just like such youth pastor shit. I can't stand it.
So John says, and this is love, that we walk according to his commandments. Similarly, 1 John 5:2 says, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we affirm and celebrate
As he
whatever
made
they
them
do.
gay.
No. It says when we love God and obey his commandments. Again, we see how genuine love and God's commandments are related. We love our neighbor by keeping God's commands, not by...
So tell me then, he has not said at all like that there's a commandment that says don't be gay. He hasn't brought that fact up. So if he's not going to bring that up, then nothing that she said contradicts anything that he's saying. The only, he's implying it, but he hasn't explicitly brought it up yet. Like he hasn't brought up the fact that God said not to be gay yet.
By rejecting them. By the way, this is why Paul says, love does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. You see, genuine love can never affirm or celebrate wrongdoing. It doesn't go to parades for wrongdoing. It doesn't wave flags.
Wrongdoing like what? Say it. Just say it. Wrongdoing such as...
and shout and cheer for wrongdoing. Love that affirms and celebrates sin is not genuine love. It's a...
There it is. Okay, we got it. So being gay and trans is a sin. Got it. So if you're gay or trans, you're going to hell. But God loves you. But God loves you. But he'll send you to hell forever if you're gay or trans. But he loves you. There it is.
Counterfeit love. Real love for neighbor is so much better than that. It doesn't compromise truth. Rather, it helps.
It's so much better than that, folks. When you tell your gay neighbor that they're going to hell for being gay, it is so good. It's so good when we do that. It's so based in pog and red pill when you do that, right? Right, man? Like, that's what you're saying.
Helps our neighbor live in harmony with the truth. Miss Rachel and I both want to follow God's
the truth that they're going to hell.
Love our neighbor. But the way we discover what that love looks like is not by looking to contemporary culture or affirming and celebrating whatever makes people feel good. It's by looking to God and his commandments.
Say what? Yeah, okay, I know, mic drop, right? Say one time what your beliefs on gay and trans people are. Like, just say it, man. Say it. He didn't even say it. He's a pussy. This is his website, by the way. I meant to show this beforehand. Let's see. We got articles, videos, podcasts. This is Stand to Reason, str.org. Clear Thinking Christianity. Difference between Protestants and Catholics. How the cross reveals the truth about who God is. STR ask. Why didn't God start humanity over right away by destroying Adam and Eve? I mean, a good question. He started humanity over at the flood. I think that's a pretty good question. That's a podcast, apparently. Here, let's dip our toes. Oh boy.
Right away.
I just know how.
Oh, let's get right into this, Greg.
Here we go. Okay.
Here's a question from Ron. Why did God not start humanity over right away with destroying Adam and Eve after they sinned against him?
I just want to listen to a little bit.
He knew that he was going to have to destroy an evil generation with the flood later on.
Well, okay, here we go again. With the why didn't God? No, Ron, I don't.
That's a good question. No. You start with, hey, that's a pretty good question, man. You're really using that brain of yours, that God-given brain.
But I just want to offer.
Oh, here we go again.
The I don't know if it's even an insight. It's here's the rule.
Two. Okay, it's not him, but this is the website that he promotes. So this is still content that he stands by.
The rule is that why God questions, or why did he, why didn't he, are questions that frequently simply cannot be answered because they have to do with the mind of God.
Yeah, what does the Bible have to say about J.D. Vance fucking a couch? Good question.
Which God has not generally revealed. And so what that means is that we are left with a speculation about what the options or what the reasons might have been.
Boy, they're really boring.
And that's hazardous because they're speculative, and so therefore we want to make sure that we are not inappropriately dogmatic in the way we answer these. Not just us, because we're not characteristically, I think, but many others will speculate on something and then pretend like their speculation is holy writ. Okay? Now, I think
answer the question.
Question falls into the category of theodicy. And what theodicy is, for those who are not familiar with the word,
Answer
is
the
a spectacle
does he
in the
ever
world
answer
and
it?
all the time, with no one ever sinning. And
Wait.
Its form of the argument, but the thing is, it's not the way it's offered is not sound, because it could be that God
Are you rejecting the
had a
question?
morally sufficient reason to allow evil. All right, and that's the way to get around that particular challenge. So the
I just say God
deductive
is evil.
challenge doesn't work, but it does raise the
If you just accept that God is evil in the Bible, like canonically in the Bible, I know that there are Christians in my audience, just bear with me. I'm talking about canonically, literally. If you read the Bible front to back, God is evil. Period. End of story. I'm sorry. God is an evil character in that piece of fictional writing. Okay. That is just the fact. So if you can absorb that and internalize that, then you can understand the book better.
Technically, in the King James translation, God could have been advocating for men to have better gay sex. Don't lie with a man as you lie with a woman.
Ooh, that's pretty true. Thank you again for the another 5 gifted tier 1 subs, Saki Tanuki. I never thought about it that way. He's like, well, listen, when you lie down with a woman, I know that you have sex one way, but maybe add a little spice, a little spiciness when you do it with a guy. You know what I mean? Go harder. Really, you got to really pound that prostate. You know what I mean? Like really, really force it in. Anyway, is he ever going to answer the question?
Presumes, of course, that the second round is going to be any different than the first, that human beings aren't going to use their freedom. And at that point, there was kind of an autonomous freedom of that. Only God would know that. And secondly, it presumes that as...
No, he's never going to answer the question. He's doing like the dancing around the question and then rejecting it without saying that he's rejecting it because he's a pussy. That's really boring. Website's boring. Red pen logic is... I think that it just comes down to he doesn't like gay people. Because here's the thing, right? He'll claim, if you were to ask him outright, that he does not hate gay people. That's his claim. But then when you water down his beliefs to, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I believe that God punishes gay people with eternal hell, right? And yes, I love God and God loves me back and I believe that God is all loving. You're saying that punishing gay people to eternal damnation for the crime of being born gay is love. That's your version of love, okay? And you can call that love if you want, but that's not my definition of love. Eternal damnation is not love, man. Like, it's not. So you don't love gay people. In my opinion, you hate them, okay? And I think my opinion's the correct one, by the way. So that's how I look at it. If you think gay people go to hell, then you hate gay people. That's the end of the story. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.